What if I told you there is a 97% chance you are being treated for a disease you don't have? Sounds crazy, right? But it happens more often than you think. If you've been diagnosed with thyroid disease, you don't want to miss this. Dr. Stephen Wander, he joins me now to talk more about it. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So 97% chance is pretty high. Tell us more about that.
Very high. Well, I first got interested in thyroid. My grandmother, when I was about 13 years old, was out to lunch with her and my grandfather, and the first thing she did, she laid out 13 pills. Wow. And I was like, why all the pills? And she was like, well, baby, the first one's for my thyroid, the second one's for my sugar, third one's for my pressure, fourth one's for my cholesterol, fifth one's for the side effects of number 1, sixth one's for the side effects of number 2, and so on down the line. And I saw her health go downhill very quick. Wow. Dialysis, getting her thyroid taken out, and then a couple months after that, she was gone. So I got very interested in this subject years and years ago. And so most women diagnosed with low thyroid disease don't have low thyroid disease. And then they're prescribed a medication called Synthroid or levothyroxine, which is the #1 prescribed medication in America at $23 million a month.
So tell us about the symptoms of thyroid disease. What do we look out for?
So some of the symptoms are inability to lose weight despite good diet and exercise. That's why I have a pound of fat right here. Wow. Extreme fatigue, losing their hair. So when they brush their hair, there's a lot of hair in the brush and they can see it thinning. Brain fog is a big one. So I have this Boomerang. There's a software that a lot of women download. It's called Boomerang. And so they can send emails to their boss or their clients, etc., in the morning and then send them out at 3, 3:15, 3:30 when they're brain fog and they're just dead tired. Low libido, moody, and so there's just a lot of symptoms that people diagnose with low thyroid, or if they've actually been misdiagnosed, the symptoms are actually the same.
So it's kind of hard for them to even figure it out, right? So if someone is diagnosed with thyroid disease, what questions should they ask their physician?
Well, if they're diagnosed and they're on that medication and their symptoms are still the same or getting worse and more, something's wrong. And 97% chance they have the wrong diagnosis. So they need to be tested. So they need to be tested to see if they have this autoimmune disease that actually attacks the thyroid. And so that's the first thing. Then maybe they haven't been diagnosed with low thyroid, but they're having some of the same symptoms I talked about. They need to get tested. And then after that, what's very important is they must get individual customized testing specific for them. That can be saliva testing to test their hormones, cardiovascular testing, genetic testing, food sensitivity testing, other autoimmune disease, stool testing, very comprehensive. Most women are just diagnosed on one thyroid marker, TSH, or some might have T3 or T4, but that's far from a full thyroid panel. So once the results of the individual's test results come back, then what they must do is find someone who's going to build them a customized treatment plan from the ground up specific for them, because that's the only way to handle this type of autoimmune disease versus thinking that they have too little Synthroid or levothyroxine in their body and that's going to be the treatment.
Doc, this was really informative. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. For more information, you can check out Dr. Stephen Wander's website at drwander.com.